It's also funny when you get mad.
I know, which I'm okay with. If that's the way, if we're gonna leech off of that,
I'm sorry.
That low hanging fruit humor, I'll be the butt of the joke.
So,
but Animal Crossing will not be.
Two of the greatest games on the GameCube, but only one can have a shot at the grand finals. Today, Austin Hargrave, Jeff Fabre, Jared Knabenbauer, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we see which of these titles gets to win. It's Super Smash Bros. Melee and Animal Crossing, and this is Madness.
Welcome to the Losers Finals of Season 4 of Madness on GameCube Games. Today we're comparing the two, the chillest game versus the most hype game on the system. The one with the fewest actions per minute, and the one with the most actions per minute. It's Super Smash Bros. Melee versus Animal Crossing.
Two wholly different games.
Yes.
Which would you say is the best soundtrack, Austin?
Let's talk about how Animal Crossing is a chill-ass game. Instead of whatever stupid shit you're trying to derail this conversation into. Let's talk about how Animal Crossing scratches so many itches that no other game on the GameCube can scratch. It scratches the chill vibe. What other game is more chill? I know you can, I didn't question this on the last bracket because I knew Pikmin 2 probably wasn't going to win. But you were comparing like Pikmin 2 as like a chill game. I don't even understand that really, because I think it's almost the exact opposite. Animal Crossing is in essence a chill game. It is from the soundtrack to the characters and the conversations you have, to the events in the game, to everything. It's the ultimate chill game experience. And compared to any other game that you could compare it to similarly, it's by far like Harvest Moon, whatever else. It's the best.
Sims in the city.
I have to just concede to Jared's point.
Sorry, go on.
Nah, I mean, I basically said what I wanted to say. It's just, especially when we're talking GameCube games specifically, if you are the kind of person that likes chill vibe games, collecting, just hangout vibe games, there are no better games on the system than Animal Crossing.
I agree.
Well, to just expand on my point, because you punched Pikmin 2 while it was down, I would boot up that game and just go to the Piclopedia and let the music play, because it was such a chill music.
The Piclopedia?
Yeah.
That's cute.
You can throw carrots at the Pikmin enemies and see how they react.
So, you said there is no other game that scratches the particular itch of Animal Crossing, which is true.
That's done as well.
Yeah.
On the GameCube specifically.
All of those qualifiers now in place. I think the exact same thing about Melee. It's a very different type of itch.
Well, the GameCube specifically.
Yes.
I did set the parameters, and we are talking GameCube.
Naruto Clash of Ninja.
Don't get that shit.
Dragon Ball's game.
No.
That on PS2.
The Naruto GameCube game, not that bad. But
I don't want to
the closest thing I can think of.
to play Naruto.
Fair.
I want to play Link. So I'm going to boot up Soul Calibur 2.
That's what I was going to say. What other fighting game did you play as Link?
No, but for real, it is a very wholly unique, cool experience of a mishmash of fun, awesome, stupid, great, cool things.
And
Melee.
As much as we talked about it as a awesome, hardcore fighting game, it also just is a love note to Nintendo fans, or a love fest. It's just a giant love fest of Nintendo fans.
We I don't know how well we've hit on the fact that it's a great party game too. People have become very, very skilled and good at this game. We can also
turn on all the items.
Yeah,
You can also just take some shots of vodka and go at it.
Yeah.
You can take some shots of vodka and go see KK's show. It's a lot better when you're a little tipsy,
Animal Crossing.
Most things are.
Animal Crossing is a far more accessible game. That's true. The skill gap is basically non-existent.
I don't want. You don't have to play a game.
I obviously personally prefer Animal Crossing, but I actually don't even think it's fair to say that Smash Brothers isn't accessible. In fact, it's one of the games that all my friends who didn't play games would play, because it's what buttons do you press? A and B, and you move in certain directions.
For like a fighting game, it's one of the more simplistic fighting games.
Yeah, it's not like, well, to
It
do a
is.
fireball, you gotta move the thing around like this.
There
But there's still a high
You don't have
skill
to input
ceiling.
complex
There
combos.
are crazy combos, but it's all combining simple things instead of I have to quarter circle attack to access a fireball.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why I don't like fighting games, but I like Smash, because it is more of a party game. It is more accessible. I can play it with my friends and not sit there for an hour at explaining them all the move sets and then feel frustrated because they can't figure them out or memorize them. It's like, well, dude, just press A. You can smash in certain directions
And like once you
figure out the moves.
figure out the simpleness of the controls, it's fun to just go in and be like, what does this guy do?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Roy. What are Roy's moves?
And if you can't figure anyone else out, just
They're
play
marks.
Kirby and down B all the time. That works just fine.
I've also personally had people I introduced Smash Bros. Melee to, and I'm like, this is the best freaking game, you gotta check it out. And I showed it to them, and their response is like, oh, I don't like this. Because at the time, like, it was so fast-paced and was so different. Like, it was really kind of off-putting, even though they had like a bunch of familiar characters. It wasn't in a way that they necessarily liked or really could really connect with. So I do think Animal Crossing is still more accessible because of this.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a knock against Smash Bros. By any means.
The difference between
It
like
is very different.
the difference between like Smash 64 and Melee,
Yeah.
like especially speed-wise, you're right. Like
Yeah.
it's jarring at first.
Just give him Mewtwo and it's all good.
What about like just like the things that you would just pick up the game for and do like on like a daily basis in the game? Like when you play Melee, what do you do when you pick up the game after you've done most of the things in the game? Like you just pick it up and just play some matches and then you put it down again,
Pretty much
or
be friends.
I would always used to just have like fun matches with my brothers. Like
Okay.
we would like just do stuff like Hyrule Temple, Young Links only, all bombs, go at it.
so you did more of like the custom
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like it's
Make
like
our
we're
own
making
little
up our
game, yeah.
own game.
And we do that on pretty much every day.
I mean, because like you can't like the multiplayer side of things again. I guess for like Animal Crossing, it is practically non-existent. I mean, you share the houses in the same village in this version of Animal Crossing, and you can write letters to each other. That's basically it.
Me and my brother used to make arcades.
does the
and then-
island stuff any kind of multiplayer aspects with
No.
like that at all?
Not simultaneous.
I never
no.
did it, so
They didn't have simultaneous multiplayer until
Okay.
the DS game.
okay.
Me and my brother used to have different NES games, and we would force each other to. I could go into his house and play the NES games and vice versa, but I'd have to like buy one of his really overpriced gyroid characters that he had for sale. On
What's to stop you from just not going in there and just
honor system?
playing
You
it.
know, honor system.
Honor system.
I want him to pay me when he comes over too, so
Okay,
I guess
yeah.
I'll pay him back as well.
How would he know that you would just go to his house and play the game?
Honor system.
How do you know that he never went to your house and played the things?
Because they just go to the living room.
I
and
can see him
from there.
playing. I'm probably sitting there like waiting for my freaking turn to play next. To be honest,
That's fair.
could have just got. Well, would have needed 2 GameCubes.
What about the fact that Melee is still played on like such a high level today versus like Animal Crossing isn't really played at all because New Leaf is out now?
Fair, but high level Smash being played today also consists of taking away 3/4 of what Smash is. Removing a lot of the stages.
A lot of the characters.
Removing, like, a lot of the characters are worthless, and removing all of the items. Like, the party aspect of it is completely gone.
I agree, and that's that's all I value in a game like Smash. I don't care at all about the competitive scene. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about the whole, wow, like I'm 10 years old and all the Nintendo characters and you can fight them, like the commercial. Like that's what Smash is to me, is that freaking N64 commercial. Like,
I still think that there's some value to be had that you can play the game like that. You can play the game with.
I'm not saying there's no value in it. I'm saying, me personally, it's
Like,
not a lot of value.
I do think it's valuable that there are.
Yeah.
That you. It is still such a viable game at such a competitive level.
Yeah, I'm not rooted in the fighting game community at all, especially like high-level Smash, but I can still watch high-level Smash gameplay and be like, ooh, that's super sick. But I do think it's bizarre that they have to take away a huge essence of Smash Brothers to make it competitive.
And you have to use exploits.
Did you see those Cloud9 Animal Crossing plays?
Bro, you even tried
That was fun.
mortgage any percent?
That was fun. think there's so much depth that we add, like, because none of us are very competitive Smash. I think Jeff is like the most.
We like
not for Melee.
I personally like to be good at games.
Yeah, and there's so much depth to Melee's. Like, I've seen streams where, like, Mango, for example, will just, like, sit down and go through a game at a tournament and be like, this is what this person's doing, and they'll, like, 8 levels of mind games they have to be playing. It's incredible that that's in a Smash game. I mean, that is possible.
A game with 2 buttons.
You can do that for almost any competitive game, though.
Can you do it for Animal Crossing?
It's not a competitive game.
That's again, it's like an apples to oranges thing. Like, it's
Why
not
can't fruit be compared?
It's not directly comparative. So that's not necessarily a knock against Animal Crossing.
Have you never seen the lawyer review the mortgage any percent run?
No.
I'm saying, like, that kind of mindset is still being applied to stuff like the Sailor Moon fighting game for Super Nintendo. Like, just because it's a competitive game, like, it has, like, that kind of mindset and levels to it. Animal Crossing is very, very different. So that I don't think that can be used as, like, a negative against Animal Crossing.
And if you want to talk about something that Animal Crossing has that Smash doesn't have at all, since there's no multiplayer competitive scene, there's the creativity aspect. There's something that's really, like, there's entire things in Animal Crossing that I don't...
talked about custom game modes for Melee. Like, you have to be creative to...
Okay.
I did make the Ganondorf challenge.
That's fair. But, I think Animal Crossing involves creativity to a much larger degree. In fact, there's even entire sections of, like, whole parts of the gameplay of Animal Crossing that, I'm not even that into. I'm not that into making my room look good. But my wife, for example, she loves that. She's all about making her rooms and decorating them. And I remember even growing up thinking, what do you do? You just get some cool looking items, put them all against the side of the wall. There you go, put something in the middle. But, like, there are people that make really good looking rooms, and that's, like, what they like to do in Animal Crossing.
I actually want to side with Austin this one. I think both games are very capable of having the game within the game concept in there.
That's fair.
Like Smash, like, you can make a bunch of different game modes, but that's absolutely possible in Animal Crossing too. One of the ones that I did was basically, hey, I hit a piece of furniture. I would leave it, like, on the town message board, like, go find it. Naturally, it'd be, like, behind a tree, so, like, it's completely in a blind spot, and they have to dig there to find it for, like, my brothers and friends. But, like, both games are capable of doing games within the games and following up on the creativity aspect. Like, it's different between, like, creating game versus drawing new clothing or making new music.
Another thing that I didn't do at all was making the clothes, but a lot of people
Can you do that in the first game? I actually just don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
One thing that I will say, the first Animal Crossing game, there's way less game within a game opportunities because more than one person can't play at once. In later games, or at least in New Leaf and others, you can have more than one person in the town. So you can kind of create more things like, you can even do sumo wrestling with the pitfalls and, like, put people in the middle, they try to push each other. You can't do anything like that in the GameCube version. So it is limited to the fact that only one person can play at a time. But there are a lot of things in the game that involve creativity and maybe not game within a game in the same sense where you can create, like, a Ganondorf challenge or whatever, but there's whole aspects of the game that, you might not even really be that into that someone else could be all about. Like, that could be the reason they like it.
And I think the same is true for, like, Melee. The whole competitive side, like, you said that, like, the fact that Animal Crossing does not have that is not a knock against it. It's a positive for Melee, though. Like,
yeah, that's totally fair.
It counts for one game and not the other.
Yeah.
And we have to compare apples and oranges.
Yeah.
I was going to say, one thing that's in favor of Animal Crossing is it does introduce a bunch of wholly new concepts, whereas Smash Bros. Relies on the property of other franchises. Like, Animal Crossing brought in iconic characters like Tom Nook, one of the most iconic Nintendo characters.
Mr. Rossetti.
Yeah.
Rossetti should be.
Isn't, like, every single villager from the first game still in, like, rotation, essentially?
Another knock against Smash Brothers is that that game was rushed to meet near launch, whereas Animal Crossing was not rushed because it was already done.
I guess another point towards Animal Crossing, at least I can see it this way, is that just because a game is still watched on, like, such a wide scale, like, watchability doesn't innately equate to value, because the different kinds of experiences you get with the games just don't necessarily play to an audience.
Animal Crossing is a much more introverted game, where Smash is a much more extroverted game.
Yeah, some are more naturally inclined towards, like,
I feel
spectator
like the arguments I brought up are trying to be twisted into negatives towards Animal Crossing, and that wasn't how it was intended.
Okay.
It's no, these are positives towards Smash Brothers that Animal Crossing just doesn't have.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. I mean it's not like Animal Crossing has a competitive multiplayer scene. And it just doesn't. That's not even possible. So
like I would just disagree. I think the watchability is a huge part of the positive parts of that.
I'm not saying it's not a positive for Melee. I'm saying that it being watchable in terms of like Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing isn't really a watchable game.
I wouldn't say that. I think Animal Crossing games on Twitch are really big.
Yeah, it's one of the games that I play the most on Twitch.
I mean, any Animal Crossing, people are like, oh, Animal Crossing stream?
Because people like to hang out and feel that chill vibe.
I've gone to your Animal Crossing streams before, and I get legitimately surprised at how many people watch you just play Animal Crossing, because there's a surprising amount of people who just want to be able to sit down and have that chill vibe going on.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like competitive gaming like Smash is more niche than chill stuff like Animal Crossing.
If I don't play Animal Crossing on stream for a while,
I want to see some numbers for that, because I'm gonna look this up in post because I'm genuinely curious. I'm not sure I agree.
I think we're talking about individual streams rather than big event tournaments.
You can't have Animal Crossing events.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
So you can't draw a crowd, but it's which is fair.
From every single person that's played Animal Crossing has played it as a casual game.
Yeah, if I've streamed Smash before. If I streamed Smash, I would get so many people watching. But if I streamed Animal Crossing, I guarantee you I would get more people watching.
It might be because it's
I would, but that's more about my audience.
That's a really bizarre thing to say, but I do think that's the truth.
Like I said, I'm gonna do
get good numbers.
I'm gonna do some research in post. I think Melee, I can't.
Please do. I think that could be a really fascinating subject.
I think a lot of that has to do with the professionalism of who's playing Melee. Versus,
I would guess that Melee
the personalities that are playing Animal Crossing.
It depends on if we're talking about tournaments. Yeah. I mean, like Jared was saying, I think the point he's making is individual streamers. Again, I still don't even personally think the amount of people watching would really mean much one way or the other about the game. I mean,
we're trying to find things to compare in two very incomparable games.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
I think we're getting to about the point of exhaustion.
Tapped out.
So I think we should move into voting.
We spent 20 minutes trying to justify why Animal Crossing's here. My vote's to Smash.
Super Smash Brothers Melee. There are a lot of hard edges in there and a lot of stuff that isn't polished in a negative sense. There's a lot of worthless characters. There's a lot of things that it was clearly rushed out. And I guess, again, it comes from a personal preference. I as a person am generally a more creative dude. Whereas if I were to pop up my GameCube, I think I would immediately have more fun playing Animal Crossing than I would Smash again, which is really bizarre to say. And so I think I do enjoy the more chill stuff of Animal Crossing. And another big thing with Smash Brothers is that without people to play with, it's not as fun. I'm gonna go my vote with Animal Crossing.
BB and Jeff.
I think a lot of the aspects, I agree with Jared's points that they seemed kind of rushed in a lot of for Smash Brothers in a lot of ways. It was kind of rushed out the door. A lot of the characters, we brought this up in previous arguments as well. A lot of the characters just kind of are useless, and some of the stages are bad. Also, even if I enjoy watching competitive Smash Brothers, I think that competitive Smash Brothers is such a niche aspect of Smash Brothers Melee in particular. Animal Crossing is so much more approachable, and I think even just playing them again very recently holds up a little bit better. So I'm gonna say Animal Crossing.
I'm actually surprised that this has come down to a 2-1 vote here. I'm struggling between my own personal preference and the game that I feel like actually deserves it more. And as much as I love Animal Crossing, I feel like Smash Brothers is the better GameCube game. And so I'm gonna vote for Smash Brothers, even though it is not really fun for me to say that. And I'd like to vote for Animal Crossing, but I just don't think that I should.
just turn heel against yourself? I've been arguing Animal Crossing this entire time.
I
am in shock.
I object to that, actually. I made plenty of points about how Smash was good, and I felt like I was objective about certain things with Animal Crossing. I mentioned that the multiplayer wasn't that good, and I can't get over the fact that every single time people I knew that didn't even play games, they wanted to play Smash. None of them give a shit about Animal Crossing.
I'm shocked and surprised and proud.
Thank you. If I'm nothing else, I am unpredictable.
Yeah.
And intellectually honest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. You know what? Yeah. Good job, Austin. This is another one where I'm really struggling with personal preference and hearing the arguments. And I agree with Shane. I feel like we're spending a lot of time trying to find reasons for Animal Crossing to be here, and it's a great game, and I feel bad a little bit because it's not my type of thing, you know. Doesn't mean it's bad. When I think GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be it.
Yeah. It's honestly one of the things I love the most about Madness is it sometimes really just is that 25 minutes of us just who made the best arguments. Yeah. I feel like we kind of like just convinced some people to vote for Animal Crossing. And if I really wanted to, I could have just solidified it and won. But it was like, that wasn't really what I was trying to do necessarily. But that really is part of what's fun about it to me. It's like, we're not sitting here for like 3 days writing a script about which is the best game. It's just like, all right, here we go. What do you think? And then like opinions can be swayed in such a short amount of time. And it's usually a lot of caffeine involved as well. So
yeah. Thanks for joining us for the losers bracket and the winners bracket. Next time, it's going to be the surprising grand finals of Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door versus Super Smash Bros. Melee. Legitimately did not see that coming.
Me neither. We almost had Animal Crossing. I was sitting there thinking we could just do Animal Crossing and Paper Mario again if I vote for Animal Crossing. I can get round 2 at Shane. Maybe I'll like knock him down.
Who do you think should have won the losers finals? Let us know down below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe because we have new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And tune in next week for our grand finals.